All right, our tail of the tape for our main event this evening. It's quite simple. It is the knee bar. Will Bendy Casimir be successful with the knee bar, or will Jesse Brock be able to stop it? We are about to find out as we go cage side with Britt Talbert.
Fight fans, are you ready? It is time for our main event, and it's time to meet our fighters. First, fighting out of the red corner, he comes into this fight with a record of 20 wins against 11 defeats and 2 draws, weighing in at 134 1/2 pounds and standing 5 feet 6 inches tall. Representing Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, please welcome Bendy Casimir. And fighting out of the blue corner to my left, he returns for his 3rd Front Street Fights main event with a record of 19 wins against just 8 defeats, weighing in at 135 1/2 pounds. He stands 5 feet 3 inches tall. He represents Combat Fitness and Straight Blast Gym in Idaho. From right here in Boise, Idaho, this is Jesse Brock. Our referee, when the action begins for our main event, is Mr. Rulin Day. We'll now have him give instructions to our fighters.
Okay, we've already covered the rules. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Let's fight hard, fight fair, touch gloves if you want to, and come out fighting.
All right, and now, fight fans, this right here is what you've been waiting for all evening. Here we go with our main event, Downtown Throwdown.
Here we go, buckle in, get ready. Bendy Casimir, Jesse Brock, Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. It starts right now.
2 seasoned vets. We'll see what kind of game plan. Bendy's got kind of a Floyd Mayweather style here with his front hand down.
Looking for a quick right hand there.
Probably looking to bring Jesse in.
Thought to go for a kick there, but thought better of it. Comes back with a left kick, not really quite connected on Bendy.
When a fighter drops his right hand like that, his lead hand, I should say, he's looking to roll punches off. You know, instead of a normal traditional boxing parry, he's looking to kind of bury his chin into his shoulder like that to protect his
he
fist.
goes for a low kick. Bendy Casimir able to counter with the spinning back fist. And Jesse Brock going for that shoot that he wants to do. Bendy able to fight it off. Now, going back to that spinning back fist, we've talked about it, low percentage success, low percentage availability.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for, but you get where I'm going with that one.
Right. You know, if you land it, it's devastating, but a lot of people don't.
Again, same thing we just saw, going for the kick. Bendy Casimir going for that spinning back fist, not quite connecting totally on Jesse Brock. Jesse probably going to want to think twice. Again, both fighters going for a fake there. Jesse going for that leg kick, seeing if Bendy was going for that spinning back fist, which he was. Now it's going to be interesting to see how each one of them counter it.
Spinning back fist is, if you see it coming, which now he's kind of thrown it two and a half times already, is the problem with that is you turn your back on a really good wrestler, you get taken down. If Jesse times it right.
And both of these guys, you look at the intensity in their face, neither one of them blinking right now. Both have shown a few signs again. Jesse going for that takedown. He's got the single leg takedown. Bendy trying to counter it with a couple of punches. Doesn't let him get it hooked in. Able to stand up. Now can Jesse counter it and get him back down?
Bendy doing a good job with wrist control, kind of mitigating some knees. Jesse's doing good with head position. Bendy spun him around. Let's see if Jesse gets him back. Okay, back into open range.
We're back to. Oh, wow. Goes for a hard right hand there. Jesse able to count out her that. That is a good quick reaction. That fist may have had him a little bit of effect on him.
There was a knee bar that we talked about. See how he tried to roll right there? He just missed it.
Now you've got to see, when you go back and take a look at that last 20 seconds, how much Jesse was out of it for a few seconds and how he was able to withstand the attempt at the knee bar and the fist that Bendy threw his way. Because you could tell that kick under the chin caught him a little bit and it definitely rattled him.
I totally agree. And Jesse is known for his work ethic and you know, his conditioning, and that's the key when you get those little flash knockouts. That's the key to coming back, you know, physiologically, is is the fact that if you're conditioned, you can snap back a lot quicker than the guy that's not. Even guys, you know, in the fighting scene, guys that, you know, train to fight, guys that are at that high level of conditioning, those are the ones that can withstand those.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by here in round number 1 of our main event of Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com, between Bendy Casimir and Jesse Brock. Action slowing down just a little bit at this point, but there have been flurries of some serious offense by both fighters. Right,
Jesse just landed a little inside elbow. There's a second one. He's trying to go high, and then it looks like he's go high, then go low. Look for a throw or a knee bar here in a second, too, from Bendy. See if he's going to, when you turn your back, like I said before, when you turn your back like this, you have leg locks. Here you go.
Now, let's take nothing away from Jesse Brock. Jesse is a strong dude, but it appears Bendy may have, at this point, kind of a slight advantage in the strength department. As you can see, very slowly kind of able to anything Jesse goes for, just really kind of push it away and kind of brush it off a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's a superior positioning or if he's just stronger, or, you know, but, you know, they're both, I mean, it's so evenly matched, it's hard to call that.
All right, we are back to standing as we enter the final minute of round number 1. How's this one going to go down?
But to your point, you know, Jesse is usually pretty oppressive against the cage. And,
goes for a single leg takedown right there. Ducks a hard right fist from Bendy Casimir.
Jesse's burying his head so he doesn't take a shot.
And again, that strength to be on one leg, to be able to fight a takedown, a single leg takedown in the center of the cage. Both fighters going for a couple of fists there.
Yeah, Bendy's doing an amazing job, you know, like just kind of making Jesse think twice about a lot of things.
And that spinning back fist again. Probably ill-advised time to take it, but Jesse Brock not able to capitalize at that moment.
And Jesse's bleeding on his forehead.
A good kick to the wrist.
Jesse with going to be a big slam.
Finally gets the double leg takedown that he was looking for. Hard slam there.
Watch Bendy for a knee bar. He's going to look for a knee bar.
We're in the final 15 seconds of round number 1. Very exciting fight so far here between Bendy Casimir and Jesse Brock. Final 10 seconds. Jesse trying to soften up those knees of Bendy there. And Bendy trying to roll out of the cage however he can at this point. And there it is, round number 1 in the books. This one is living up to the hype, I'll tell you what, Nick.
Very nice first round. Very nice first round by both parties. You know, it's hard to call that fight. I would say just a slight edge to Jesse Brock, and I'm not trying to play favorites, but you know, just a slight edge to Jesse because he was pushing a lot.
And that's the flurry we were talking about right there. Takes a couple elbows. That kick kind of knocked him loose there, but Jesse's still able to get back into it quickly. Bendy able to roll out of what Jesse was trying to throw there. It's like anything you can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, I can counter at this point.
Right.
Slight even, maybe strength, it's hard to tell. Is the reach playing in Bendy's favor at this point?
You know what, where I can really compliment Bendy is his ability to get off the cage, you know, because like I said, that's what Jesse's known for is you know, his grappling ability, you know, his wrestling ability, his clinch work, and you know, and Bendy is escaping everything that Jesse's putting him into. You know, body locks, underhooks, head position, you know, back against the cage. He's getting out of everything, so that's actually impressive.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, round number 2 of the main event. Jesse Brock, Bendy Casimir. And you've seen some cat and mouse games throughout the evening, but this one has seemed to, hard right kick to the chest of Bendy Casimir. That one hurt from here. Bendy just missing with a haymaker of a right hand there as Jesse Brock going for a lower leg left kick. And again, going for that right kick to the ribcage of Bendy Casimir. Bendy able to just swipe it away.
Yeah, you know, Jesse's trying to look for those kicks, but they're really not getting through. There's a double leg. Nice power double leg.
Great double leg takedown by Jesse Brock. Now what you saw there, Jesse going low there, and Bendy not sure if he wanted to go with that haymaker of a right hand again, which may have been not the time to guess, can I land this, and the time to go for it. And Jesse doing a great job at this point, really sitting back, watching what Bendy's going to do, trying it one more time. Is he going to do the same thing? And on 3, going for the takedown.
Right, look, once again, he popped back up. You know, he popped back up, and watch for the knee bar. Because if Bendy can get his head away from the fence and do a forward roll, oh, that was a nice,
Jesse Brock with
nice.
A good elbow shot there to the face of Bendy Casimir.
See, even his corner is calling that.
And he does. The corner calls it, he gets it, able to counter it. But again, it's counter for counter for counter.
Jesse needs to run the pipe or stand straight up and get his hips underneath him. There you go. And this goes to what I was talking about earlier. You know, the more takedowns you get on somebody, that's just racking up points.
And Scott Tomet's already back out cornering for Jesse Brock. So very quick celebration for Scott Tomet, and it's back to business.
Jesse's doing a good job. You know, he's going to stay kind of with that same position that Tomet's had. Just stay in that closed guard, kind of lean forward and put his chin down, his head in Bendy's chin, and kind of keep him in front of him and look to kind of damage him a little bit.
2 minutes gone by, a little over 2 minutes in round number 2 of our main event between Jesse Brock and Bendy Casimir of Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. And again, this kind of goes back to anything you can do, I can do better, but I'm not going to let you do what you do good.
Right, and Jesse's pretty good at these front chokes, these anacondas and Darce chokes. It's like an inverted triangle, and so he's really good at these. So
now
we'll see if he switches to a choke.
If my history is correct, this is the first Jesse Brock main event to actually get into the second round.
I think so. Jesse's really good at takedowns, but Bendy's really good at getting back up. Now, you know, hey, good job for getting back up. However, you did get taken down, and you got that scored against you in the scorecards.
Which does have an effect that we saw in one of the fights earlier in this evening. Jesse Brock still bleeding from the forehead there. It seems to be definitely controlling the pace of this fight right now. He waits for it, but Jesse, again, goes back to, I know he's going to do this.
Right.
Lets him get up, and we're back to standing.
And that was more of a traditional Granby roll escape than it was an actual rolling knee bar. Jesse circling, doing good. He needs to keep circling back to Bendy's right, away from the jab, instead of circling to
and this
Jesse's
is the
right.
disadvantage to Jesse Brock, maybe. The reach advantage, definitely 6 inches, almost 6 inches tilted towards Bendy Casimir.
There was a spinning back fist, another one. He keeps going to that. You know, it's kind of a one-hit wonder, you know. After a while, the guy's, you know, just has to see it coming, you know.
You look back in music history, if we want to go there, there's some pretty good one-hit wonders.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of inside leg kicks from both opponents here as we are down to about 1:15 left in round number 2 of this main event, Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. Jesse Brock, Bendy Casimir. Again, that lower leg kick that Jesse's going for. Bendy knows it's coming. He's going for this.
Nice body kick.
Goes for that spinning back fist. Again,
right.
They both know what they're going to do at this point. Who can fake him the best? Jesse Brock trying to get that double leg takedown. Gets it again.
Right.
Advantage Jesse Brock.
You can keep doing that and just keep winning. You know, keep winning the fight by just shooting that double leg. You know, he does a really good job closing the distance. He needs to watch out for a triangle, keeping his arms in, his head down like that. You know,
Bendy able to land a few shots there, a couple soft bits there.
Jesse's got double underhooks, but Bendy, by hooking inside with his legs, that's called grasshopper guard, and it's impossible to pass that grasshopper guard.
Flashing back to Karate Kid lines right now. And again, we've complimented both fighters on their strength and the power, but focusing a little bit on Bendy right now. He's in back position. He's on his back. He's got Jesse Brock coming down on him, and with 2 legs almost seeming effortlessly in the final 10 seconds here, able to keep him away.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, Bendy's, you know, I mean, there's a reason why he's got booked for the main event. You know, he's very savvy.
And round number 2 is in the books between this main event of Bendy Casimir and Jesse Brock. And again, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this over the next 5-10 minutes, however long this fight goes. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to counter what you've got. I know what you're going to do. We know Bendy's going to throw the spinning back fist when Jesse goes for a leg. We know when Jesse takes him down, single leg or double leg takedown, he's going to get him to the ground, but about 3 seconds later, Bendy's going to be back up.
Right.
What does either one of these fighters have to do to win it in the 3rd round?
Well, I think Jesse needs to keep going with what he's got. You know, Jesse has a really definable game plan. You know, Bendy seems a little bit more sporadic. You know, he seems to be kind of like throwing some stuff that every round seems to be a little bit different. I wouldn't call it desperate. I would just say tricky. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, but the refs see, okay, Jesse Brock has style A, and that's easy to predict, and you can see he's executing it. Bendy's a little bit more of an enigma. So, you know, a lot of times judges don't respond to that because it looks desperate, even though it's not.
It may be a little more strategic than the judges might think, which, again, goes back to the point that we've stated several times. You don't want this fight to go to the judges' hands.
You're exactly right.
And, again, that's not a disrespect to the judges. It's just a matter of how they see it.
Mm-hmm.
Final round of the main event, final round of the evening of Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. Bendy Casimir, Jesse Brock putting on a clinic of strategic fighting. Bendy going for a few fists there. Jesse Brock able to get out of the way, able to counter that head kick there. Lower inside leg kick connects to Jesse Brock.
Bendy's doing a great job throwing high, throwing low. You know, Jesse's countering well, but once again, that's Bendy attacking and Jesse countering.
And again, Bendy knew he was going to go for that takedown, able to kind of block it a little bit.
Looking for a Kimura or a switch right here.
Jesse has a little bit of back position right now. Bendy just kind of taking it easy, letting Jesse see what he's going to do. And again, that roll. But roll. Jesse right back on top of it again. Knew what he was going to do. Hits the double leg takedown again. And again, it goes back to knowing what your opponent's going to do.
Right.
Jesse knew that he was going to roll at some point, felt it coming, let him go, got right back on him.
And Jesse, you know, is in this open guard. He's susceptible just previously to a triangle. So he was doing the good thing of keeping posture, sitting straight up, almost sitting back, but leaning forward with his lower half. And then now that he's kind of more settled in on the chest, he's going to stay in that position. There's half guard, and I don't think he's going to elect to pass. I think he's going to look to damage him from here. He's going to look to drop bombs. And
3.5 minutes left.
Ground and pound.
Who wins this fight? How do they win this fight? We have 3 minutes to find out that answer.
Bendy's doing a good job of kind of nullifying the strikes right now. He's back up to his knees. Bendy's really hard to take down, to keep down. Easy to take down, but hard to keep down.
Jesse being tenacious right now, and Bendy getting back up, but he's still right back on him, not giving Bendy a lot of room to work right now and get away and establish a game plan of his own at this point.
Yeah, Jesse's starting to do some knees to the back of his thighs and Bendy's thighs and hamstrings, you know, just trying to score some points, wear him down.
And again, there's that roll.
That's it.
Jesse letting him get out of it, but again, almost another counter by Bendy. Knew that, the counter to the counter.
Yep, there's another spinning
lower
back.
leg kick and a spinning back fist. We've seen that about 6 times so far.
Connected, it deflected a little bit, but it connected, you know, to Jesse's head.
Straight jab there to Jesse's lower jaw there. And again, Jesse trying to get down low, get Bendy there.
This is what I went to talk about before. You know, Jesse's really good at this Randy Couture style. You know, if you're fans of old school MMA, Randy Couture would just push the guy against the cage and just be oppressive there. And Jesse's really good at that.
And a good knee there by Jesse Brock there. Working him against the cage. You called it earlier, Jesse likes to get his opponent against the cage, which really makes it kind of a 2-on-1 disadvantage for whoever's in between the cage and their opponent. Now Bendy trying to spin him around a little bit. Maybe looking like he's getting a tad bit tired at this point, or maybe just doesn't know what to do at this point.
I don't know if he's tired, you know, but, you know,
and again,
he might
no
be
disrespect to either fighter.
Yeah, but he might be frustrated more than tired.
That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
And so that's one thing, but it's just like all the stuff he's trying is not working. And, you know, and honestly, these parlor tricks, these carnival tricks, they don't work, you know. You need to go back to kind of fundamentals of doing damage, getting takedowns, winning positions.
And we are down to the final minute and 15 of Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. Our main event, Bendy Casimir, Jesse Brock. Jesse Brock landing in a few left hands there. We've got a minute to figure out a winner. Bendy's got to do something in this final minute to well, you can't really tweet in the middle of a fight, but tilt things back in his favor. Jesse able to land a few couple of fists, and Jesse doing a really good job right now of keeping Bendy in between him and the cage, giving him a little wiggle room, but able to stay right back on him, and that's that tenacity that we talked about. There's that roll again. Jesse Brock right back on top of him. A knee followed by 4 or 5 right hands there as we approach the final 30 seconds. Are we going to see a final flash of offense from Bendy Casimir? He's waiting. There goes that roll again. But again, Jesse able to turn into what he wants and keep that dominance as we get down to the final 15 seconds of this main event and of Front Street Fights 5, presented by bodybuilding.com. Here we go, the final 10 seconds. He's going to let it fly. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Couple of slams there, and this one is in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we go to the judges' scorecard. And you got to think, as good of a fight as Bendy threw, and he really did, Bendy put up a good fight, this one's probably going to go to Jesse.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's 100% going to go to Jesse. Jesse was the aggressor. You know, Bendy had some flashes of brilliance, but, you know, it's like I said, kind of carnival tricks, parlor tricks, you know, doing those flashy Granby rolls and spinning back fists. You know, that's fine, but when you do them for 3 rounds straight with no real return on investment, you need to give that up and actually focus on a win. And the win's what's important, not just doing these kind of desperation moves, in my opinion.
And, you know, and we said this one at the beginning of the onset of the match. This one is going to be, you know, had the potential to be a grapple match. And if you're a fan of grapple wrestling of any style, the strategic moves in this one.
Right.
The counters for the counters, the counter for the counter for the counter.
Right.
I mean,
but it was still an amazingly interesting fight. You know, I'm not slamming Bendy at all. It was it's an amazing, interesting fight. It went all 3. The fans got what they paid for.
Exactly.
It was very interesting to see, you know, Jesse kind of overcome that unorthodox, different type of style, and you got to see him overcome it several times, which is also good. It wasn't just a one flash roll and it didn't work out. He rolled, you know, did those Granby rolls over and over and over, and then you watch Jesse start to get a beat on it and get him in his crosshairs.
Again, just an amazing co-main event, or excuse me, amazing main event, and really just a great night of fights. Front Street Fights 5 presented by bodybuilding.com. We are just waiting for the official decision here, the official scoring here, and when we get done, after we hear from the winner, when we come back, Todd Carlson, our matchmaker, is going to join us to close out the show, and we're going to head in cage side. We have got the numbers. Let's find out who wins this one.
Hey, Front Street Fight fans, how about another great main event here at Front Street Fights? How about a round of applause for both these fighters right here again? And again, to Bendy Casimir for coming up here from Las Vegas, Nevada, a veteran coming up here to Boise, Idaho to take part in our program. So here we go. We're going to go to the judges' scorecards. And we have Judge Steve French scoring the bout 29-28. Judge Howard Hazelbaker also scores it 29-28. And Judge Randy Anderson has a 30-27. It's a unanimous decision for the former Boise State wrestler, Jesse Brock. Again, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Bendy Casimir right here. He put up a great fight in our main event. Coming up here, and Jesse, if you don't see another flying back fist, that'll probably be just fine, won't it?
You got that right. No, I knew he's got a unique skill set, you know, and I had to really prepare and, you know, game plan a little more than I usually do. Typically, I just try to impose my will on my opponent, but, you know, there's a lot that he does that I don't see a lot, so, you know, I had to kind of game plan for it specifically. But, man, props to him, whatever he hit me with. I don't know if it was a back fist or not. He threw enough of them. But, you know, I have to go back and watch the tape. I was on Street for a second there.
Another good night for you and your team. Another great night here at Front Street Fights. Jesse, I know you're a big fan. What's next for you, I have to ask?
You know, we have some things in the works. I kind of leave that to my manager, Alfred. He does a lot of good work for myself and the other guys at our gym. And, you know, just whatever. I just, you know, want to keep improving my skill set. I'm not really pleased with my performance tonight. You know, I was able to come back from a little adversity, which isn't something I've experienced too much in this cage, so it's good. You know, it makes you stronger, you know, makes you work on your weaknesses.
Who do you want to thank? Of course, we know you've got family here always. You got your friends. You got fans that have followed you since you were a Boise State wrestler, Jesse. Who do you want to thank?
Boy, everybody. You know, I thank my mom and my girlfriend for coming out, and, you know, just my team, my trainers, my manager, and everybody, my entire support system. It really just, you know, they appreciate what I do, and I in turn, you know, appreciate what they do for me. And you know, I really appreciate just the crowd that we get here. It's nice to have a steady promotion to keep us pros busy and keep us working. So, you know, big thanks to Front Street for, again, putting on a quality show, and hopefully they'll have me back soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Brock, your winner in our main event here tonight. And